People get the opportunity to do this, do it. You know, it's hard, it's scary, but it's the best thing I've ever done. It's the best decision I've ever made, coming in here.
I've been in addiction for 36 years.
I was a heroin addict for 22 years.
I've been drinking around about 26 years.
Drinking 20 years plus. Worked out it was probably about 19 years of doing drugs and drinking.
I was an addict for 25 years.
And I've been in addiction for about 9 or 10 years.
Been in addiction probably since I was 13, so we're going back 25 years.
Well, originally I came in here thinking I spent 12 years in addiction on heroin and methadone. Obviously through the 12-step programme, you know, it's been made pretty obvious to me that I spent a lot longer, you know, more like maybe 27 years.
I was very shy. I found heroin, it made me not shy, it made me confident, it made me, you know, I could approach girls easily. You know, I didn't mind doing that. You know, I liked doing it then. And, you know, that's really why I liked it so much, and I kept using it for that, and you know, but that didn't last too long, and then I just stuck with an habit. And you know, then girls weren't in the equation then.
Family has that problem. It's just something I took on board myself. Sort of like the black sheep of the family. Like I said, no one else in my family has been through it this bad. My family, they can drink successfully, they can have a couple of drinks, go home. Both of my sisters can, it's just I can't.
As soon as I was getting a regular wage from working, that was it. As soon as I had that first drink, that was it. I was hooked on it and I couldn't stop.
I had a bit of a bad upbringing and you know, a dysfunctional home and abuse, and I put it down to that.
Well, I had a horrific childhood, a horrific marriage, and then after that, after my husband died, I was on my own with a child and I had a breakdown. I was using drugs and drink to mask all of that.
Well, basically I blame my parents and the upbringing they gave me, but with hindsight now I realise that it wasn't them. They weren't the problem was me.
I don't know if it was because I had older brothers, I always tried to look bigger or better than I was. I used work as a big excuse to, you know, for me to use. Just try to be somebody who I wasn't really. I was always quite honest, but then things just started going downhill. Started lying all the time and just completely changed who I was.
It was on my 8th birthday that my brother got run over. We was at a party and my mum was always saying I should have been looking after him. You know what I mean? And me being younger, I was the older brother, I thought, well, yeah. But coming to 12 steps has made me realise I couldn't even look after myself at that age. So why should I be looking after a 4-year-old? So I've come to realise I'm not to blame. You know, and that it took a big weight off my shoulders. And it's made me open up and just look at things differently now.
When I came in here, I thought it was more of a choice, you know, with sort of getting addicted to something like heroin, what is known to be physically addictive. I thought I sort of made that choice, but you know, I think it was something that I was always, it was always going to happen. You know, just a constant feeling of this, you know, not fitting in and irritable all the time. And whenever I took drugs, I just felt like I fitted in.
Well, there's a few final straws. I mean, I was having a lot of trouble with my legs. I was getting abscesses. I had septicemia. I was getting abscessed and an abscess and abscess. You know, DVTs. In and out of hospital all the time. You know, it was just unmanageable. It was just horrible. You know, I was working, but I hated the job. I couldn't concentrate on the job. My mind was just thinking about drugs all the time, just all the time.
Say a month before I came to treatment, I tried to commit suicide by overdose. I'd found myself becoming quite vulnerable. isolating myself in my flat. And when I was going out, I was getting assaulted, I was getting robbed. There was all sorts going on, so, and after the time I didn't even remember anything.
I went to prison last year, did my detox in prison, off methadone. I came out of prison for a few weeks, didn't realise I had a problem, I didn't see alcohol as my problem. I came out of jail, picked up alcohol, and within 3 weeks I was back on the heroin and crack. I realised I've got a problem and I needed, you know, rehab.
I received a bad diagnosis from a doctor who said I had 2 years left to live if I carried on the way I was going. So basically it was either stop or meet the bitter end. So I decided I wanted to live and I needed some help to do it.
It was just horrible, and I realised I'd thrown my life away. So I'm just trying to rescue, you know, the second half of my life, make it a bit better than it was. You know, for me, my family, you know, my son. Just make it better for everyone. If it's better for me, it'll be better for them as well.
It was with my partner. Been with her for 4 years now, and the amount of times we've split up because of it. Because of the alcohol, you know, my behaviours, my attitudes and stuff like that. She kind of said, enough's enough now, going to be together. I need to sort this out. You need to start looking at yourself and doing something about it, rather than just sitting there in self-pity.
Big money issues, my business, probably had about a week left before it went down. Me and my wife was not communicating, getting caught using, never answering the phone, hiding away, isolating, just being very, very, very unhappy.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and on the Monday, if I can just about remember getting to work. I worked in Trafford Park, and my boss took one look at me and said, fucking get home. You can't fucking stand up, I was being sick everywhere, and they just sent me home. I'd been bleeding a lot. Been bleeding out my arse for a lot through the drink, which I didn't know at the time, but I was frightened. I was really scared. I thought I were a mess, really, and I just said to my mum, I said, I need to go to hospital and get checked out. And off the back of that, I went to One Recovery.
It was the drink, it got completely out of hand. I remember being on my hands and knees begging my mum to have my son. I knew I needed rehab, she knew it. I got arrested 4 times in 6 weeks. I was blacking out, not remembering what I'd done, going off in strange cars with strange people, drink driving, passing out a lot, violence, aggressiveness, verbal abuse, being taken off in ambulances, social services in my life. I'm on the very, very final warning. Everything I'm hanging on by the tip of my nails, everything hanging. Even coming into the centre, it was frightening. And like I say, I didn't go into detox first. I just hardcore at home, stayed in for 3 days because I got told if I failed a breathalyser or a drug test, I wouldn't be allowed in. So for them three nights previous, I just stayed in my flat, isolated myself off, didn't take nothing, sweating me back out. And to be honest, I was really anxious, wondering what's it going to be like, what's it about, who else is going to be there. Thinking that there was loads of people like me with similar problems, I was quite worried. When I got here, it was relief. Because everyone was so friendly and welcoming, I was like, wow, I'm worried about all this. And it was just, it put a different light on it totally. I felt really at ease.
For me, one Thursday, when my counsellor gave me a piece of advice, and since then everything changed. It was about writing my diaries, and ever since then, I had trouble with me showing emotions and actually putting them down on paper. It was suggested, you know, I do that. I went back to Elliot House, thought about it, and did one of the best diaries I think I've ever written. And it was all thanks to that my counsellor Tam, who I can't thank enough for, because it helped me come out of myself and actually be myself. It was around the feelings I had with around my daughter, basically because I've been a rubbish dad. The actual diary was more about her experience rather than mine.
You do grief letters. I did one to all the members of my family. That was hard. Crying, you know, floods of tears. You do a life story. I concentrated on sort of my biggest shames and I missed all that out. I could barely mention my son, I mentioned his birth. But there was things I wanted to talk about and get out that I was sort of ashamed of. So it gives you the opportunity to do that.
Coming to the realisation of how much I hurt people that I loved. You know, taking them for granted. Yeah, that was a tough one for me. It was realising I was doing basically to my kids what my mum did to me. You know what I mean? I was claiming to be this great father. You know what I mean? But I wasn't. Do you know what I mean? I'd drink while I still had my kids. You know, I'd promised the mums that I wouldn't be drinking. You know, as soon as the back was turned, you know what I mean? I'd still be drinking.
My kids, Victoria and Aidan. Yeah, my sons were probably the most upsetting, really. He's got autism. And my grief letter to him, just remember him being sat in his high chair, just absolutely petrified. He's afraid of loud noises and bangs and big crowds and stuff. At the time we didn't know he was autistic, he's only recently been diagnosed in the last 12 months, but his little face, yeah, petrified that right in that. Did one to my mum and my dad. Just years of worry that I put them through. Sleepless nights my mum's had. I did a grief letter to Natalie, who's the kid's mum. I owe that woman a lifetime of amends. The best thing she could ever done, believe me. They were tough, them. They're probably the most honest I've ever had to be in my life.
I think the turning point for me was the grief letters. They broke me. But without doing them, I won't be here now. So it was, I have a lot to thank for people who was in group with. They taught me how to be honest and how to be open and not worry about what I had to say. You know, honesty is the big thing that I've learned to, you know, keep talking.
There was all job, really hard parts to write, but my life story was just everything. That was the hardest, and then having to read it out as well. That was terrifying.
Doing my life story, sharing that, some of my past with my group, feeling listened to, and I felt lighter after. I'd never really shared that kind of thing with, you know, others before, and yeah, I felt a lot lighter for it. I think it was the first time I realised I was an addict. I never knew what was wrong with me, and it was the first time I thought, oh, I'm an addict, I'm not just a greedy.
Admitting your life is unmanageable, completely. You know, you can't manage your life. No matter how much you try and cut it down and say, oh, I'll just do this, I'll just do that. There's no cutting corners.
Over a few days afterwards, I felt really low. It brought back a lot of memories. But just knowing that I didn't have to keep it all to myself anymore, and knowing that I could actually go and speak to someone about it now and let someone know exactly how it felt and what I was feeling now, and it felt good just to be able to share it.
The most significant part was when I received a letter off my mother, and it was the first time in group that I'd shown my emotions. I broke down when I realised how bad I'd actually become and how bad it was for them on the outside looking in. I was oblivious to it, didn't even have a clue. I just broke down when they was explaining what I'd done and how I'd made them feel and I'd made them ill. I didn't even have a clue. I was that selfish at the time, I wouldn't have noticed anyway.
It was certainly the grief letters. First of all, one to my granddad, who'd died 27 years ago, who I feel I let him down. I was only 15, but I wasn't there for him because of some girl, and whenever I think of him, that's all I remember. I wasn't there for him. I can remember Ray, the counsellor, he gave me the work to do, and he said, I'm going to say one thing to you. He said, do your granddad proud. And just saying that made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. And when I got in, I just wrote. I mean, it was just amazing. I just connected with it so much. I went right back to my first memory of him and all the great things we did together, and I just sobbed all the way through it. And it was a beautiful thing, you know. And I was just so happy that I cried.
I've learnt I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. You know, I'm not a victim of this, that, the other. I'm actually a survivor of it all. And I've actually learnt that I've got quite a lot of skills that I could put to good use in helping other people, which is something I've always wanted to do. And this has helped me realise that. And through coming into treatment, like I said, I've now unsupervised contact with my daughter. It's helped me with my family as well, so every aspect of my life it's helped with. I mean, going back into education and just all sorts, and I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for coming in here.
To be honest, just waking up clean and sober, having people around me who care for me now, people who respect me, people who value me, valuing myself, having my family in my life.
Coming into rehab, I honestly thought they were just going to like teach me how to drink proper. I didn't think it was going to be a total slate clean and nothing at all. And I hear about getting a sponsor and doing your steps and everything, and we had to go to meetings, and I didn't really get all that at first. Now I do. I've done 3 or 4 different courses since the peer mentoring courses. I'm on a combination learning course now, which is like basic counselling, and I think it's absolutely fascinating. I love it. I just get a feeling inside. I feel now I've got a purpose in life, and I didn't even know what it were. I've always worked, but it's always just been fucking job to job to job through my own fault. I want to do my counselling degree.
Hopefully now, I want to take one day at a time, keep on with my recovery, and eventually I'm looking to be a counsellor, something to do with prisons or helping younger people, make sure they don't make the same mistakes that I've made.
You know, there's quite a lot of pressure on me sort of to pay back debts and, you know, keep moving forwards with work, just to not fail. But I can't change what things are going to happen, but as long as I try my best.
Maintain sobriety, be a loving parent like my kids deserve, a loving partner, and not just a decent human being, you know, a good member of society.
Maybe to have another child, maybe, just to be able to live life to the max and to love people and people to love me.
I'm at college. I'm on a counselling course. I volunteer for Focus and Fly, have a sponsor, doing step work, doing everything that's suggested, and life's bloody brilliant.
My daughter said to me this Saturday she's happy. I went, why? She went, because of where you are and what you're doing. She went, I know I can ring you now and I'm not worried about where you are or what you're doing or who you're with. She's only 11. She said she's really proud of me. I'm going back to college, finishing my health social care, and I want to help other people that have been through things that I have with social services, abuse, all different kinds. I want to help someone. If I can save just one person, then I'll be all right.
I've got so many things I want to do. You know, you think you're too old, and people say you're not too old. You know, say my mate's, you know, he's in his 50s and at university. So you know, there's loads of things I want to do. I'd like to start a business, some sort of business. I'd really like to start a business and make my own money. I'd like to volunteer. Don't want to say goodbye to this place. I'd like to volunteer here. You know, I really like it here, like everybody here. So I'd like to come back here and volunteer.
I'm hopefully looking at getting some sort of volunteer work, and even looking at college, because I'm doing the combination learning after STAR, and I'm hoping that opens up a few more avenues, gives me a bit of motivation, direction in life.
To be normal, just to be like any other person, to enjoy things that I was oblivious to. You know, to enjoy getting up on Sunday morning and going to get a paper and staying in my pyjamas till lunchtime, eating bacon butties. Not waking up and not feeling crap, wanting to be sick, feeling guilty and the shame, having to apologise to people, spending the rest of the day and the day after hating yourself, that kind of thing.
I want to be a good dad. I want to be there for my children's weddings. I want to be there for my grandchildren if that happens. You know, I want to basically be there for my family, be the rock for my family.
I want to thank my brother Sean for believing in me, supporting me through my treatment. I want to thank Lee, my partner, for being there and loving me, putting up with all my behaviours and my ups and downs. I want to thank all my peers for supporting me and believing in me as well, and helping me see that, you know, we do deserve better. I want to thank my mum for having my children and, you know, putting herself out and being there when I couldn't be there.
Just want to give you a piece of advice, boys, right? Do what the counsellors ask you to do. Do everything. Don't hold back, and trust me, this programme does work. It's worked for me, and it'll work for you if you just follow the plan, and you will recover. Trust me.
I'd just like to thank Marie for being there for me with all the support and putting up with all my crap over the years. You didn't deserve any of it. You're just an amazing woman, and I'm going to do this. Love you.
Yeah, I'd just like to, just a massive, massive sorry to my mum and my dad. The worry that I can now see and understand what I put you through, being a parent myself. I'm just really, really sorry for the years of worry and the years of lying to you. I just love you both so much, I really do. And my children, Victoria and Aidan. Sorry don't cut it. Sorry don't cut it. But I'm here today. I'm here for you both. And I love you both. More than ever. More than ever.
Holly, I love you. Thanks for sticking by me, and I'm sure we're going to have an amazing future together. And to Mum and Dad, I love you loads, and I can't wait to start building our relationship back.
I just want to thank all the counsellors that have worked with me. You know, it's a bit of a thing my mate Jimmy keeps saying, I keep saying it, but they are the best people I've ever met. You know, the counsellors, I love every one of them that I've worked with. And I suppose the ones I haven't worked with are just as nice, and, you know, I can't thank them enough.
Kelly and Aaron, know, you've supported me through everything. You've looked after the kids, even Adley, who wasn't your responsibility. I just want to thank you for that and for everything you're doing for me, Chloe, Adler, and to all the counsellors at treatment at Acorn for coping with me and putting up with all my moods and getting me through it.
Yeah, I'd just like to say a personal thanks to Acorn, well, a massive thanks to Acorn for letting me come through this programme and making me the person that I am. So that's Melissa Spencer for getting me here in the first place, Ray and Emma, my counsellors, Tam and Trisha when they steps in, even Mel who does the drug testing and the breathalyzers. I thank you for all the negatives that you give me. That's the only time I like negatives. And then also I want to thank my family for standing by me through, which has probably been torture, this for them, for 25 years. So that's my mum, my sister, my stepdad Aidan, my girlfriend Jeanette through standing through thick and thin. And I want to thank my daughter for making me see where I should be going in life and that I've got to value life.
Yeah, whoever's watching this video and does come to rehab, and if you're thinking about, you know, leaving or getting a drink or whatever, or thinking about sneaking a drink and you're not going to get caught, don't fool yourselves and stay in rehab because it will save your life.
Yeah, I just want to thank Acorn for making me feel like I was the most important person in rehab. Although I was in a group with many people, you know, you just have a way of making us all feel like we're the most important. Don't know how you do it. You're just all so caring. You know, I can tell it's not just a job to all of you. You actually really do care.